Growing up as an African kid, there's only two things that are certain in this world. Death and your parents beating you over the dumbest of reasons. I'm Congolese, born in South Africa, but my blood is Congolese. So as per most Congolese household, there are the unwritten rules. Break them and, well, you already know what's coming. The first of these rules being, if there's a guest in the house, treat them like royalty. Oh, you need a place to sleep? Well, take our kids' bed. They can sleep on the cold, hard floor. Oh, you want to play on my kids' Game Boy, even though they said no? Give me a second. Ah! Here you go. You can play on their Game Boy all day long. So what if you end up breaking it? You know what they say, sharing is caring. Another one of these dumb rules were like, if you did anything even remotely bad, your precious items would get confiscated, no matter how dumb. Oh, you didn't clean the left-hand corner of the fridge even though you can barely see it? Then I guess you can barely see your stuff. As a Congolese, there were a lot of dumb rules like these that we had to grow up learning to accept. But now that I'm a 19-year-old adult, I'm a kid forever. I can finally look back at the ways I was raised and do what all sane people and Jake Paul do. Bitch! Okay, so where did the idea of making your kids your personal room service come from? Like, I get the idea of serving your parents as it's a way to pay them back from feeding you, putting clothes on your back, but some parents, mine in particular, take it way too far. Like, I'd be in my room that's across the hall playing some Tarzan on my Game Boy, and I hear my dad calling me, so I pause my game, walk all the way to my dad, only for him to be like, pass me the remote. And then I look at the remote, and it's like 2 inches away from him. Like, it's right there! You got arms, you got legs, use them! And then I'd give him the remote, and he'd be like, what's with the attitude? Anyway, I think that got me way too heated, so I'm gonna cool down by talking about today's video sponsor, me. Hit that like and subscribe, please. Parents really gotta teach by example, because if you tell me not to punch the really annoying neighbor's kid, then don't punch the really annoying neighbor's kid. But like, for real, I used to be jealous of kids that used to get grounded. Like, all your parents do is send you to your room. How is that a punishment? All my stuff is in my room. That's not punishment, that's a vacation. But instead, I'm out here in the trenches getting my ass whooped by a belt. Like, one time this kid said something to me that I just wanted to punch him for. Like, he basically told me that he'd rather get whooped by a belt than get shouted at. And I'm like, brother, clearly you haven't been getting the type of beating I was, because I'd gladly get shouted at than beaten at. So what if my feelings get hurt? As they say in that one movie,
improvise, adapt, overcome.
When you have strict parents, expectations of your performance in most things are through the roof. Most things being school. Okay, look, when I was in school, I wasn't really the brightest, but my parents really wanted me to improve my studies. But they didn't do the conventional, you know, help with my homework or get me a tutor. All they did was try to scare me into passing, because if I didn't pass... Growing up, I was known as the kid with the strict parents, and people would always tease me, saying stuff like, you can play with us, won't your daddy get mad? And I'd be like, firstly, don't say daddy like that, and secondly, no we won't. He's right behind me, isn't he? I feel so lucky for the next generation, cause the way y'all act, it's either that you don't have a father figure or you just don't get beat. Because if you did get beat, you wouldn't be doing stuff like this. Jokes aside, as I grew up, I realized my parents being strict on me was good, because as a kid, you need a strict guideline of stuff you can and cannot do. Like, literally nowadays, you have toddlers with TikTok accounts dancing provocatively at churches. Like, no joke, I literally saw this at my own church. I was shocked. And when I see this happening in front of my own eyes, I think, wow, so that's what's gonna be leading the world once I die. Like, bro, these kids came out of the womb looking at screens. Meanwhile, I had to wait till I was 16 for me to get my first phone. And for my kids, it's probably not gonna be any different. Well, that was probably a short video. I do not know if it's short or not. Yeah, but I'm back to weekly uploading. Subscribe, follow my Twitter, please. And yeah, see you next time. Scram!